into it, Dom, or do you want a soft open and just chat?
We can do your soft open.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Dom, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. Just enjoying this nice Sunday morning. I guess I don't know. It's kind of like that
Afternoon.
in between time, and it's daylight savings. So,
Did that screw you up? I felt pretty sluggish this morning.
well, I knew it was coming,
Yeah.
but yeah, luckily I didn't have any obligations. I was gonna go to the gym, and the gym's only open 9 to 11. And so that would mean 8 to 10. And I was like, can't really do that.
Did you do the second part of the open?
No, I'm doing it tomorrow.
Looks
Just 'cause
hard, those double unders.
I know, and I can't fucking do that.
I
I mean,
know,
I can like kind
I
of
wish-
do them
They don't give a single, like you could do singles instead, right?
for the scaled version, for the
Yeah.
little bitch version.
Whoa,
Sorry, I'm not
whoa.
sinking down. I'm just getting my
where you go?
slipper.
I was like, what are you doing?
I lost my
Cutting out a frame.
slipper.
So what I wanted to tell you, I know you're going to shit on this, but 2 separate people yesterday said I look like Matt Frazier, which was what a compliment.
Yeah, I think I've gotten that before.
Hey, I said I've gotten worse, so I'll take it.
I tell people he's like the Michael Jordan of CrossFit.
Yeah, well, it was 2 CrossFit people told me that.
Well,
So-
obviously.
Just some random stranger. It was funny, like some dude I just meet for like the 3rd time. Like, you look like Matt Frazier.
I think
You do not look like this guy.
Well, put
pull
a shirt
up some
on.
other
Yeah,
pull up some
yeah.
other images.
Maybe with the shirt on, I look more like him.
I mean, it's just a small guy with a shaved head and beard.
Yeah, I would agree.
He kind of looks like Sean Strickland. You know who that is?
I know the name. Is he a UFC fighter? Was
He is a UFC fighter,
Mm.
yeah.
Nice.
I mean, the chest hair is similar.
Thanks.
I think he shaves his stomach.
Yeah.
Probably.
If you had abs like that.
Even
Wait,
if you
could-
don't.
Can we bring up Dom's photo from last week super quick? Is stunning.
Side by side.
Abolitious
Find it,
photo.
I have another one of... They get some good flattering photos of people.
Do you have a photographer going around?
No, it's just the
Just
gym
someone's
owner.
iPhone?
No, there's
It's not
some
available.
like
the photo's not available
actual...
anymore.
There's some actual cameras going around.
It's impressive.
I do have... Here, you want me to... I can send you one.
Wait, sending a photo?
Yeah.
Not great. Downtime here.
We can just cut it.
Dean, what'd you think of last week's episode? Solid?
Yeah, I haven't looked at the numbers for it, but it was good.
Amanda,
I'm a
hold
num-
yourself.
I'm a
very
numbers-
well. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm
baby.
sending it to Lifelanes.
On Instagram?
No, it's just a photo.
Oh, it's a group text.
This one I actually have some abs in there. No big deal. It's me and you.
Oh, I remember this photo, yeah.
I've been waiting.
Hanging
I
on
gotta
to
make
summer.
a move.
Stupid. Was that your caption or theirs?
That's theirs. Not
You got some
bad,
abs
right,
there,
dude?
Dom.
What was that?
You got some abs there.
Yeah, not bad.
We can airbrush it, really. Pop them.
Little chubbo now. Actually, no. I've been not really eating that much, so just trying to starve myself for summer. I got Tampa coming up. Gotta look good.
Gotta look good.
I'm so ready for some fucking sun. Justin, when did you go away, or are you going away? Weren't you supposed to go to the Dominican Republic?
I did, and then I'm going to Raleigh on Friday.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere with Lindsay, somewhere tropical. No?
Nah, we need to
Never
plan
mind.
something, but we were thinking about going to Charleston as well. But we're going to Raleigh to visit my colleague for a few days.
It's not really tropical.
No, but it's warmer weather, and we appreciate that here.
We do.
So, what's the plan for your birthday? Are you coming home?
Probably.
Ooh.
Let's go out east.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. I want to involve Tyler and Joe in whatever we do.
Okay. Besides
Those-
golf,
Those are my
Well,
friends.
I don't think Joe will golf. Correct?
No, I don't think
Joe
so.
would not golf.
Put him
I
in the
don't think
cart.
So I got too many trips coming up, where I got Tampa, going home this weekend.
Oh, I dropped off the suits at Dad's. 3 suits.
Thank you.
2 blues and a gray.
Oh. Are they from like Kohl's or something?
No, the Macy's.
Caraco?
I got three for the price of one.
You're gonna like the way you look? Is that Caraco?
Is that it? That's it.
That might be Men's Warehouse.
Does a big and tall, or what is it? XL. What was the men's? Not Destination XL. That's for. What was the big
think-
and tall?
Yeah.
Not like
Rob-
you know.
Robert something? Heyo.
All right, let's jump into it, okay? I'm
Okay.
going to kick off. Welcome back to Life Lanes, everyone, the brotherly guide. We're your hosts, Justin and Dom Mazza. And on today's episode, we're talking about soccer, the global impact, but more specifically, the English Premier League. I had literally no clue about all the intricacies of the EPL, so I wanted to learn more about it. The Premier League is actually the most watched football league or soccer, depending on where you are in the world. It's broadcasted in 2 territories to close to 650 million homes, with the TV audience of almost 5 billion people. Recently, the Premier League has been more and more broadcasted in the US, really through NBC Sports. And I just really wanted to know what all the fuss is about. So I did some research. Just to kick off a little bit of research, and then we'll get into it. So the Premier League is up 3% on a viewership from last season in the US. There were basically 9 major matches last year, drawing over 1 million viewers. And it was NBC's second best figure for the league since they've been hosting the Premier League on NBC. One of the bigger matches there was the Arsenal Manchester United on January 22nd. That was almost 2 million people tuned in to watch that, which I thought was really cool. And before we get into all the details of the EPL, I just wanted to chat with Dom about soccer as we know it, the global impact, and our experience with the sport. So, Dom, hey, again.
Hey.
I thought, and we were talking why the hell I chose this subject, because it's so random and it's so different than President Bukele. But
Long live Bukele.
Yeah, I mean, he's the man. He's the man. He's killing it. I was just super interested in why soccer really becoming more and more popular in the US, and the influence of the Premier League and all that. Because I do have a good amount of friends now, I feel, that watch soccer at weird hours of the day because of the time difference.
Right.
So that's kind of why I wanted to get into it.
Yeah, and speaking of big matches, today, and it's wrapping up, was Liverpool Man City, who are right now 2-3 at the top of the table. So big matchup. The days of Chelsea and Man U running the show are kind of long behind. Chelsea's terrible right now.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Man U's solid, but obviously Man City is the bigger of the two in that area. Yeah. Premier League has gotten really big over the last few years. The reason for that, I mean, I think it's a couple different things. And I was chatting with one of my patients about this actually recently, just because we were both talking about soccer. And he was like, "Oh, did you watch the David Beckham documentary?"
It's good.
And I did not watch it, but we were talking about it and how he was the first one to bring it to the United States, right? Like the first major European star to come over. And, since then, a lot of people have followed suit. David Villa, most recently Messi, Suarez. So a lot of money is being pumped into the MLS. It translates to necessarily United States viewers viewing international leagues. Probably not. Even though there are these other really good leagues like Bundesliga and Serie A and, the French La Liga is the
Spanish
Spain one. I forgot what the French one's called. But, they got some quality teams in there. The Premier League, right, seems by far the most watched.
Yeah, and I know we'll get into the details of what the Premier League is and all that kind of good stuff. But I was thinking about this as well. We played like most kids. You played soccer growing up. You get into it for some. MLS wasn't no one watched professional soccer back then. You were watching baseball or football, what have you. I think the viewership obviously is picking up on the MLS, and to your point, there's just more leagues, more money. But I also think it's the way we intake the game with the streaming services, because now you can easily watch a Premier League game after the fact, right? Like the game being played right now, wrapping up, anyone can go throughout the entire their day today and go watch that and have a recap. And I think even you made a good point. You watched a recent game in 12 minutes, they shrunk it down. And I mean, it's just, one, soccer or football, depending on what we call it today, is a different sport to watch because there's no commercial breaks. So it's consistent viewership, which is good and bad depending on who you talk to. But the other thing is just, again, Premier League, because of the time difference in England, it's just not a normal thing for Americans to be getting up, especially on the West Coast, right? We're on the East Coast. We have, we're cheating by 3 hours if we want to watch it. So I think that's also just the ability to intake has changed.
Yeah. No longer are the days where we're just watching whatever's on cable or whatever's on NBC or Fox at that time. And we do have all these streaming services. And yeah, what I do is if I can't watch the game, I'll just watch it on YouTube, right? And you can get like a 13-minute like cut. Obviously they show all the highlights and the goals and stuff like that, but it's a nice little snapshot.
Yeah.
What's interesting too about the Premier League specifically is that it really does attract the best competition from all over the world, right? Where we're getting players from all corners of the globe, and it's an honor to go to the Premier League, and there's probably the most money that's being pumped into the Premier League than the other ones. So it's kind of like the pinnacle of soccer.
So maybe it's a good jumping off point. You can kind of get right into it. So I did a little bit of research just on like European powerhouses, right? And I thought it'd be interesting to go through some of these stats. So we mentioned there's La Liga, which is basically Spanish, big popular league. Those are teams like Barcelona, Madrid. The two stats that I thought were interesting to document for all these leagues was goals per game and point differential. So basically how many goals are being scored, the excitement of the offense, and then the competitiveness between the two. So La Liga, 1 goals, which is relatively high, and a 39-point differential. So that's wide range. So you got some bottom feeders, you got some top guys. You got Series A, which is the top in Italy. You got Dean, you got a comment? Sorry.
He's going to say Serie A.
Yeah.
Oh, Serie A.
I'm not being. I'm trying to help you.
Serie A. Oh, there's no S. Oh yeah, Serie A. They used to be, I guess, so much better. As in, like from a 1 to 10 ranking, they were ranked number 9 as the best league in the world. MLS is ranked number 10. So put it, they're right next to each other.
What does that mean, though?
I think it's the competitiveness, the talent, money. I mean, I don't know.
Definitely not the talent.
No.
Well,
Bro,
I don't
Serie
know.
A would fucking wreck the MLS.
Well, they've got teams like Inter Milan, Juventus, AC Milan, right? So
dude, even
again,
like Napoli's in the Champions League right now.
Yeah, which again confuses me how that jumps around. But I love saying Bundesliga, Germany.
Yeah.
1 goals per game, like super high, which is awesome. A lot of scoring, 33-point differential. And then you have English Premier League, Liverpool, Dom, to your point, Manchester City, United, Arsenal. So it's 1 goals per game, which is pretty low, but it has the most narrow point differential of 31. The MLS, again, 1.3 goals per game, but has a 43-point differential. So huge wide range of margin depending on those games. So I guess there's a couple blowouts going on. So it was just interesting just seeing like the different leagues, because I remember when we all grew up playing FIFA, I never understood how these were all different leagues. You would just pick like the big names and based on their cool jerseys and some of the players that you followed. But it is interesting to think about now. Like they're all different countries, they're all different leagues.
I'd be interested to see the stats of the amount of teams that have won their leagues. For instance, the Bundesliga. I just looked at it. Bayern Munich has won the last 11 Bundesliga championships. Right. I can't imagine what La Liga is, but it's probably been a flip-flop of Real and Barcelona for a while, and then maybe mixing some Atletico, other teams in there.
Justin, you're supposed to think, though, Europe is smaller than the United States, so it's like it's not too crazy.
No,
what do you mean?
What do you mean? Yeah.
You're saying how it's just like it's different country. I almost just view it as like different states.
I just never, I guess, like without researching it, it never clicked that these were all independent leagues that sometimes do crossover friendly games. I guess just like, again, my experience of European soccer leagues are literally playing FIFA. Like, absolutely have no idea. Because then you get exposure in the World Cup, which is a whole different, format, obviously. But I never realized like Bayern Munich on the reg.
Well, that's why the Champions League is so cool. Because it's literally like the champions of the leagues. Yeah, the best of the best, basically.
I mean, I want to see if you know, for a Premier League, who like the most dominant team has been the past decade.
The Man City.
Man City, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just asking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, but there's some sneaky top teams in there. Like West Ham is up there this year. Tottenham's been good for a while now. They have like one of my favorite players, dude. It's this Korean guy. He's a fucking assassin out there.
Nice.
Son. Yeah, he's sick. There was another. There was a couple like random like maybe Bolton Wanderers. Let me see.
So I'll go real quick. It's the past since 2012. Well, let's just go actually 20. Manchester United, Manchester City, Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea. I always forget how to pronounce this. Leicester.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dude, have you guys heard about that story, Leicester?
Yeah.
Oh, Justin,
They were
you
supposed to
gotta.
be
They were like
relegated.
5,000 to 1 to like win the EPL.
Wow. This
All right,
isn't
keep
like
going.
Ryan Reynolds' team. What team is that he bought?
no, they're in a different division.
It's Wrexham.
Oh, that's right. Wrexham. Cool name.
Leicester City, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Man City, Man City, Man City.
That's the most recent, right?
Yeah, so Man City's
Yeah.
won 3 in a row.
Yeah. Because their fucking team is nasty. But Aston Villa, that's what I was thinking of. They're number 4 right now. Brighton is number 8. Wolverhampton at number 9. Above like Chelsea.
Yeah, and to put in
Newcastle.
perspective, there's 20 teams in the EPL.
20
I'm sorry,
teams,
in
yeah.
the Premier League. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so let's jump into some facts because I did some research, right?
All right.
So, EPL, most watched football league globally, estimate over 3 billion people in 200 countries. I thought that was really cool. Just 200 countries are viewing
I
this
didn't
one
even
little.
know there was 200 countries.
I think there's 212 territories is what I think there's a couple more unrecognized. Tomato. So it's the best football system. It's been known that since 92. Before that, it was known as the Football League First Division. That was called that for about 100 years. It has 10 tiers. So from top to bottom, you have the Premier League, the English Football League Championship, and then League One and League Two. And those are basically like the competitive leagues. The 1 through 4 are the competitive. That's where a lot of the jumping up and down goes. And then you have your other 6 like regional and non-national leagues, kind of like a little bit more relaxed, right? EPL is made up of 20 clubs. So, and you got 3 relegations a year. And then the other leagues have about 24 clubs with 3 to 4 promotions. So once you make, right, your Premier League, a relegation means the bottom 3 of that season drop down. And I guess, like, obviously the negative about that is just viewership dollars being spent. Like, you just make less money as the owner, which I love. And we'll get into, like, why, like, that's awesome to incentivize winning or disincentivize losing.
Real quick, I remember watching a video a while ago, and this is about, like, Saudi Arabia and their influence in the sport, but we won't get into that at the moment. However, they brought up a great stat where it was that the average, I don't think it was like the worth of the team, but basically you make 10 times the amount just being in the Premier League than you would in that second tier league.
Wow. So that's
even
how
as
much
like
of a
the
difference
bottom.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With like viewership and sponsorships and TV time and stuff like that.
And I wonder, like, what's the similar turnover rate? I'm sure there's 2 to 5 teams that are always like maybe in that bottom tier that are, are we gonna,
back and forth?
Yeah. But obviously, the league's kind of known for its competitiveness. I think, again, with the promotion relegation system, a lot of folks are, stay from an audience viewership, from a player, participation and giving a crap. I think that's a great point, Dom, with the 10 times, right? So you definitely don't want to drop down.
Mm-hmm.
It has, very high scoring matches, what we said. So it was 1,072 goals scored in the 2018 season. That was their record breaking season. And then, obviously it attracts top talent. 100 different nations have participated, which is interesting. So this is still, I thought that was cool. Like there's 100 other countries that are watching this league with no representation of their own. I was doing a little bit of research on the VAR, the video assistant referee, because that's like been in recent debates and just like how it's impacting the human element of officiating and fairness and such. So maybe we'll get into some of that. And they have like financial fair play regulations, which was interesting. So they have like caps and penalties, kind of similar to a salary cap type system where you penalize for spending too much money. And they are just constantly, whenever you see the world's most wealthy franchises, you definitely see a lot of English Premier Leagues up there, along with like NFL teams and a couple baseball teams. So I always thought that was interesting. So yeah, I mean, I just like I started to go down this rabbit hole of the financial system and relegation, and again, I think like that to me, I was talking to someone recently about that. Like, you just can't, with the NFL draft coming up. Like mediocrity is the worst place to be in the NFL, right? Like 7 wins is terrible. 'Cause it doesn't get you a good enough draft
I
pick.
disagree about that, but I'd
How do
rather
you,
have
like-
7 wins than 4 wins
Why?
because a win
At the end of the season, when you look at your season.
Yeah, but like if you've been a team that hasn't been winning, like you'll take whatever you can get just because you're not winning a Super Bowl. Just roll with it. Going back to the foot, we shouldn't get into American football right now.
Stick to European football.
You're gonna get me heated. I mean, basically, if you've been shit for like 4 years and you've won 4 or 5 games every year, your goal is to make the playoffs, not win the Super Bowl. So I would take mediocrity.
Well, I guess my point, and I don't know how it works. Do you know how it works? Is there a draft in the English Premier League? I actually didn't even research any of that. Like, how do you get players?
You grow your own guys from like they have like farm systems.
Yeah.
And then there's the transfer market as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I didn't understand that at all.
But they have like the youth teams are from like age like 8 up.
Right. They
So
get $1 million contracts.
Every major team has like Manchester United, U12,
The academy,
and the academies. So it's just whoever gives you the most money as a 10-year-old.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys will start off in like their home countries and then work their way up. And then I don't want to say that the Premier League is like everyone's top destination, but you probably get the most money if you make it to the Premier League.
Do you guys know how loaning works? I'm looking this up right now.
Yeah.
You could basically
You rent them for like a season.
How does it work with liability and injuries and such?
You're paying their salary for that
Wow.
time. So
And a team would just do that if they're like out of contention or
not necessarily. Well, typically it's if they're developed. Like typically, if it's a player requests it out of contention or they're developing a guy and they don't have a place for him on the squad, and they want him to get like competitive play somewhere else. So they'll say they have a young guy who really doesn't fit in their team like that year. They'll send him to a team in another, whether it be division or country, where they know he'll get a bunch of playing time and kind of develop. Dom, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's appropriate. Yeah, I mean it's a so much dynamic situation where you have so many of these players, right? And then people are looking out for their own interests where they trying to develop as a player, right? And then if they're not getting the amount of time that they think, they go loan them out, and it's kind of cool. You get to like audition for like another team. I think that's pretty interesting.
Dean, you catching these things?
In and out.
Yeah, I can't really hear them.
I mean, I don't know what else I can do.
Your Wi-Fi down, I guess, is the issue.
It's fine by me.
Hmm.
It says 96% uploading, 97, 96.
Dean, I'll ask you, I was thinking about the marketing aspect of players. I don't know, if you know more than this, but we get commercials here, obviously, for U.S. athletes, and you see Pat Mahomes everywhere now, example. Do you ever see, European stars on any commercials in the States at all?
Outside of Messi, no. I mean, you occasionally do. No, you do, because Nike, Adidas, and brands like that will have their the guys they have signed for soccer in those commercials. You might just not realize that they're star soccer players.
Yeah.
So Marcus Rashford and a couple other guys from Man United I've noticed on commercials. And then obviously Ronaldo and Messi and those guys have brand deals across the world. But I would say major athletic wear, if you pay attention, you see soccer stars.
That's a good point. They really lean into the athletic wear and what brand they're associated with. I thought the reason I was asking was some article I saw a year ago or so, but how the NBA is really good at marketing their players versus the NFL, simply because you can see their faces more, right? The NFL has less games. They have a helmet on. You don't really know what some of these guys look like. And if you do, it's typically the quarterback is the guy on the team. Yet, soccer, right? You have a lot of face exposure. The camera zooms into them a lot. It's oh yeah, they'd be pretty recognizable. Obviously they're that globally, but yeah, I was wondering with the States, if you went around asking someone who this person is and it's Messi, I'm curious how many folks would actually know that.
Messi, probably most, I would assume. I mean, I don't know. I live in a bubble, it depends what world you're I'm in a world where all of my students play soccer and follow soccer. So I can show them any player really, and they recognize who it is, not just the big time players. If I showed my girlfriend Messi, though, I don't think she would know who it is.
But you know,
But
if you showed a
go down.
picture of Pat Mahomes to people in Ireland, they probably wouldn't know who he is either.
No. Yeah. I mean, soccer stars are some of the most followed people on social media by far.
Mm-hmm.
It's like not even close. I don't know if you did research on that, Justin, but the reach they have on social media is insane.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Ronaldo's, Instagram followings, whatever, one of the top 5, right, in the world, I think. And
he might be number one, but
Yeah,
him and Messi,
like-
but like just not even just like the stars, but like everybody.
yeah,
Like they all have huge. Like you go to the NFL, and outside of like the few people, like the few quarterbacks, like there are people on those teams that have less followers than us. But like
Yeah, right.
soccer, like
Like-
across the
You know, like Holland, right? Who I don't know if Justin knows who he is, but he's probably like the best striker in the world. He's just like this massive dude on Man City, but he has 39 million Instagram followers.
it is.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like it goes back to what you're saying, Dean, about the brand. Maybe that's the good way to think about like they grow this brand outside of their game and just capitalize on it so much, which is so impressive. And I'm curious, like, I don't know, I think of Pat Mahomes in these, whatever, Allstate commercials with Andy Reid. Curious what other commercials some of these soccer players are making. Like, what's there? Is it food related? Is it 100% to your point? It's clothing related. But I wonder how else are they growing their brands outside of just like the direct sports aspect.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how advertising works in Europe. I'm assuming it's pretty similar, but I don't usually
Yeah.
see it. I mean, you've been to Europe as much as I have, Dom. Like, you do see soccer players modeling and all that. So I
yeah,
would
they're
say
on
it's
like
pretty similar.
billboards and shit.
I'm curious. I know, Dom, you just finished Lasso. Like, I felt like I had this renewed love for the game after watching like a fun show about soccer. I was like, ooh, like I might want to get into this. And I know here in New York, obviously they're building the new stadium right next to Citi Field, which should be great, for the game and make it much easier for fans to get there. Like, I know a good amount of people who are super loyal to go to games. Like they treat it like a tailgate event. It's a lot of fun. I had a great time when we went in Portland to the MLS game. That was awesome. So I want to go to more games. It's just, you got to get the right group of friends, timing, whatever.
Yeah, and I mean in New York, it's where do they play? They play at MetLife.
Yankee Stadium and
Yeah,
MetLife.
it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. So Portland, it was nice because Providence Park was like in the middle of downtown, so you can just mob there right from the bar and shit.
Well,
Yeah.
the Red Bull. Have you guys been to the Red Bull Stadium?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so that's like an actual like mini soccer, like I don't want to call it soccer stadium because then you're gonna think stadiums in Europe, but like it's an American soccer stadium, so it's like whatever, like 20,000 seats, but it's really cool. It's very nice, and I think that's what they're building next to Citi Field is like the same
Yeah.
size because because again, and the stadium is built specifically for soccer, whereas if you go to Yankee Stadium, which I've been to NYCFC games at Yankee Stadium, like you're just so far from the action.
Yeah.
And if you go to MetLife, it's really the same deal for the most part. It's just too big for what we're watching. Except for I saw David Beckham when he first came to America.
That's
That
cool.
was sick. So and MetLife was sold out for that.
Speaking of Ted Lasso, I didn't realize that the soccer pitches are different sizes.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah. We were like the Americans getting educated, just like Ted Dom.
I mean, you would think that they'd all be the same size.
Yeah. In hockey, the Olympic rinks are larger than the NHL, which promotes like more, passing and scoring. Like it just promotes offense with more room to move. It's less cluttered. Have you guys did any, or Dom, you do any research on the VAR, like the video assistance referee? I was like reading about it, and I have some of my other notes here just about, I think like we as American sports are going to go towards something like this, where basically if there is a review of something, there's some sort of, computer system in the background helping you make those calls. And I always wondered about this, like with getting over the end zone in football, how you just can't just have a sensor, running across the end zone and just know where that football touches it. And I don't know. I mean, like, do you guys think it's good to have computers and that technology be able to make the calls, or do you enjoy the human element of sports from the referee side of things?
No, I'd rather them get it right.
Yeah, and also
agree.
soccer, they're so far from, like, the line judges are so far from the action if they have to make that call. And the ref, if he's not going to be at the line at the goal if it's one of those plays.
There's just 3 officials for the whole game.
I
The
think
2 line.
There's 2 line judges, then there's the ref, then I think there's someone in the skybox.
Okay, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, to your point, the pitch is so large. Like, how do you see everything?
Yeah, they're in great shape. But
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't know how I feel about, like, in baseball, robo umps. I think it's okay to, like, challenge strikes and balls, but I think on, like, a regular basis I wouldn't like it. But the VAR has been around now for like over a decade, so I don't think it's as controversial as it was when it first came out.
Wait, Dean, why wouldn't you like getting balls and strikes called properly?
I don't want a robot calling the game,
but they can do it better.
He's a purist.
Yeah, right.
Well, can they do it better though? I don't know. The batters are changed. Like, a soccer line is a soccer line. It's not moving.
Oh, you're saying because of the height and
the
batter. Yeah.
Every single batter is proportioned differently. So there's a technology there where it could accurately get that every single time.
It's a good point. It's an interesting sport in baseball where a strike is determined on your armpit to waist. Like,
yeah, and also framing by the catcher is like a skill. Like, that's part of the game. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That is interesting though to think about. Like, to your point, it's not so cut and dry, right?
I think they should be able to challenge balls and strikes, but
nice.
With soccer, it's the line's the line. It's not moving.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I like that. That's a good distinctive.
It'd be interesting too to have little sensors in the cleats, and then you just put them on the sidelines. Like, I'm thinking more for football and basketball, where if they step out of bounds, yeah.
Oh, in the shoe itself, yeah. That's the other question. Do you put it in the equipment or do you put it on the field side of things? It's interesting where technology is going to take it, like all these different parts of sports. And I do like understanding, and I'm sure, Dean, you like all the different facts and figures about, like, a batter right there, what swing, launch angle, and all these different things that are coming out and different statistics. I find that very interesting, the physics behind some of the measurable stuff. That's not influencing the game.
You're talking about analytics, just in
general?
Yeah.
I guess I go to an indoor golf simulator and I love seeing all the different numbers and making tweaks on that. But I think it's interesting in baseball specifically how much people are designing their team and designing their game around the analytics of their players.
Yeah, I don't like it as much, but yeah.
Purist.
I like stats. Well, I don't think you should build the entire team. Like, everyone's like, oh, Moneyball. Did the A's ever win?
Yeah. That's
no.
100%. Hey, what happened
even Aaron Judge is coming out and just like, I think he said in spring training, he's like, my favorite stat is RBIs.
Like a boss. With a dick, drop it on the table. I like that.
Yeah, fuck this wins above replacement bullshit.
And, like, yeah, with WAR, like, it's not, you go look at Hall of Famers and you look at their WAR, and now there are guys who have always been viewed as like, yep, they're Hall of Famers, they were great. Now people our age or a little younger really are looking specifically at WAR, and they go look at some certain Hall of Famers, they're like, oh, this guy doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So I don't think it's like it's not a, I don't know.
Is WAR looking at you against your peers in that given season?
Yeah, wins above replacement. Yeah.
So it's only your peers during that given season.
Yeah, and like there's other stats like Jaws, like which will take your like peak across 7 years and compare it to Hall of Famers, that I think is a little more apt for like comparison.
What's it called? Jaws?
Jaws, yeah. And then like OPS plus is like a little easier to understand than WAR. So like WAR, like 0 is like whatever, that's like replacement level. Anything above 0 is considered you're better than a replacement player essentially. But like OPS plus is a little easier. Like 100 is the average. So anything over 100, you're considered above average. Anything below 100, you're considered below average. Whereas WAR is a little more complicated. I don't know. You have a player like there's a player who I don't like him at all. He had a terrible season, like stats wise, but he had like a 2.4 WAR because he had like 8 innings, and I'm like, this guy was sucked. Like, I had him on my fantasy team. He was terrible. I never wanted to play him. He had a 2.4 WAR. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Wait, 100 is average for OPS?
So for OPS plus, no, it's a different stat. I like that better. OPS plus. When you're like trying to, like, if I'm like researching for something and trying to compare players, I typically look at that. And that's just offensively. Like WAR takes in defense as well. so negatively and positively. So if you have someone
War.
who's a 5 WAR player offensively, but defensively they're like -2 WAR, and then they end up with 3 WAR. So that's why people break it down to like O WAR and D WAR. It's just a lot, and those are just like some of the. There's a million different analytics now, and they're boring. Are you bored?
Yeah. Bunch
Yeah.
of fucking nerds.
Yeah.
Bunch of nerds. What happened to the days of jocks? We chat about the Saudis.
Can you clip that, please, and just have that as the intro? Good
Well,
chat
I
about
have the
Saudis.
highest wages in the Saudi league pulled up.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that before when you said the players in the Premier League make the most money. I was like, yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
oil money.
well, besides the
No,
Saudis,
I know.
You want to run through them? It's fucking crazy how much they're making.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, I'll just give you the top 5. So at number 5, Sadio Mane, who is a legend for Liverpool. His salary is 34 million euros, equals 600 per week.
Wait, hold on. What is it? 34 what?
34.2 million.
Whoa, $37.5 million.
So pretty good. Next one, Riyad Mahrez, who I didn't even know who he was. He
Of
makes
course.
44.7 million, and then we get a jump for 3, 2, and 1. So these are like all stars too. Karim Benzema's won the Ballon d'Or award for Real Madrid. He makes 85.6 million per year,
Sheesh.
which equals 1.65 per week. Then we have Neymar, who makes 85.6 million as well. And then number 1, Cristiano Ronaldo. What do you think his salary is?
Well,
I'll preface this by saying that he is 39 years old.
I'm gonna go with 72 million US dollars.
Well, I only know it in euros, but the answer is
Oh, I was
0.3
wrong. So that's 100 million.
per
No
year.
way. Who's he play for?
Al Nassr,
No wonder he left.
NASSR.
I would leave in a minute. You kidding me?
Yeah, dude. And
It's
he's
like the whole-
39.
I mean, this is
You
yeah.
talking about Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Yeah. This goes back
Yeah,
down
crazy.
to like golf, even like in my world with Liv and how people are leaving. I'm like, yeah, I would leave to 10x my paycheck and get guaranteed money. Like, sorry.
One of the teams, Al Hilal, is 21, 2 draws and 0 losses.
All right, so I'm gonna go top 10 players worldwide
For
all
salary.
sports
Is this on a yearly basis?
total. So I assume it's for 2023. Do you want me to do it?
Is it Cristiano Ronaldo?
Well, he's number 1. Yeah,
How many of them are Saudi soccer players?
only 2.
Ooh. Okay. Justin, should we
Yeah.
guess a little bit? I think Tiger Woods is up there.
Tiger Woods is not.
Wait, what is this?
So there is a golfer though.
Phil.
Phil, yeah.
Nope, top 10.
What is this? Top 10 highest paid golfers?
Highest paid athletes.
worldwide
Oh,
for 2020.
Not a
John
golfer.
Rahm?
Yeah, it's Rom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ram won the most, yeah.
What
So
about?
Cristiano Ronaldo is number 1.
Wait, I
with
want to
200.
guess.
I know. I'm just going. You guessed the first 2.
Okay.
Oh.
So Ronaldo's 1 with 275 million. Rom is 2 with 203 million.
Is Verstappen up there?
Nope.
Ooh.
No.
I'll give you a hint. There's 3 more soccer players, 4 basketball players, and 1 football player.
LeBron James. No, it can't be LeBron.
No, I think it.
Is LeBron? LeBron's number 4.
What about Giannis?
Giannis is number 8.
Steph Curry?
Steph Curry is
Mm.
number 7.
Nice, Tom.
Crushing it. There's
Okay,
one
what other
more
sports?
basketball.
So there's 1 more basketball.
It's not Jokic. It's not Luca. It's
Is it Kevin Durant?
It is Kevin Durant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so now you have 1 football and 3 soccer.
Domino's
You should be able
ball.
to get all of these.
Pat Mahomes.
Pat
Pat
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Soccer? Messi?
Yeah, Messi. Yep.
Mm.
1 is Saudi.
Oh, Neymar.
1 is not.
Is Neymar the Saudi?
Neymar. Yeah.
And then
So
not.
Neymar is 6th overall, 121 million. And then
Do they play in the
last one.
Premier League?
I'm not gonna give you a hint. I'm not gonna
Alright,
give you a hint.
alright,
You should know this.
Oh, Mbappe.
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce his name? Mbappe?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's fun. I like it.
He was going to go to the Saudi league for a while.
Yeah.
Decided
Alright,
not
Tom,
to
you
sell
just
his
dominated.
soul
You
to
just-
the devil.
Tom, you just body Justin there.
I don't know soccer players.
Well, Verstappen's got to be up there. I mean, he probably makes a shit ton of money.
Especially with his endorsements.
15th.
Okay. Very good. 15th, pretty good. He's only
Yeah, I mean,
26 years old. Oh my god.
Dude, I remember
So
watching.
I'll go top 20 and then we'll just move on.
Okay. All right. What is
Um,
sports? Just go sports.
So 11 Lamar Jackson,
Whoa.
12
Good for
Benzema.
him.
Yeah. 12 Kareem Benzema, 13 Roy McIlroy, 14 Tiger Woods, 15 Max Verstappen, 16 Shohei Ohtani. Which that he'll now shoot up. Well, no, he won't shoot up because it's all deferred. It's all deferred money. So 17 Canelo Alvarez, 18 Erling Haaland, 19 Lewis Hamilton, 20th Max Scherzer.
It's a good list.
I saw Dean, I saw DeGrom, Scherzer, Verlander all starting the year on the IL.
Yeah, and they're making crazy money.
Yeah, the Mets are probably still paying them all somehow.
What other interesting soccer stats you have, Justin?
Not too many more stats. I just thought it was interesting, like how do the short answer to how does soccer grow in the U.S. is the MLS and all these players coming over. But like, I wonder, will the, why again? It goes back to like why the Premier League's growing. But I think like the huge thing is like the World Cup is still super popular, and that coming to the U.S. is going to be awesome, and that's really going to drive viewership. I think post World Cup. I'd love to see after World Cup happens, like how viewership numbers trend, and if there's huge spikes after that, just in like getting the audience to be involved in sport. The finals is in Meadowlands
For the World Cup?
or MetLife. Yeah.
How much are the tickets?
I don't even know. Like
$10,000.
Yeah, I mean at least average price.
Tyler, are you still playing footy?
Probably over the summer. We didn't do the spring season.
You guys don't do an indoor league?
They do, but I don't. It's just a lot. It's like a weeknight, and I didn't enjoy it that much because you have like a legit size field, I believe, right?
There's two different options. One of them is like a 7-on-7. That's the bigger field. The one that I typically play on though is 4-on-4. It's fucking small.
That's the league that I was in. I didn't love it.
Yeah, your speed is less of a factor.
Exactly. Yeah. Like so. And
Yeah.
it's not that I didn't play well. I liked running around. Like I didn't feel like I was getting as much of a workout.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I'm going to Astoria to play soccer, like I wanna burn a lot of calories. Yeah. Justin, you got anything else?
No, that's it, man. I thought it was just interesting to learn about relegation and how that keeps things competitive. I just kept, when I was doing my research, again, like, I realized how little I know about soccer.
You weren't an athletic youth, so you didn't really fall in
How
love
dare
with
you? Wow.
Catching strays
I hold
left
my
and right.
I hold my own.
I'm not gonna lie. Like when you mentioned this the other day that you were gonna like research this stuff, I texted Dom. I'm like, has this guy never played FIFA before?
That's the only. I thought that was the interesting part, though. Dean was, like that's my knowledge of soccer outside. Like I'm not interested in this sport
Clearly not,
or other times. What do you mean?
You're saying your knowledge is FIFA?
I haven't played FIFA in 20 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
20 years.
I don't play video games.
No, I know. I thought you were saying your only knowledge was FIFA.
You just build
no.
Legos.
You wish you were this cool.
Why don't you show everybody your bonsai tree?
No, it's not finished. Well, Dean, thanks for talking the football, the soccer with me. I thought it was super interesting. Again, learn about the relegation, promotion, the financial management system, the virtual assistant refereeing system. It was fun for me to learn from you guys and to learn about English Premier League. So thanks for tuning in.
Hey, Justin, in your research, did you find out why it's called football?
Is that rhetoric?
No, because foot is an American term or an English term, but football, F-U-T, that's not how you say foot in Spanish or whatever.
You know what, Dom? That didn't come across my mind. How would one research that? Why is football called football?
Is this not rhetoric?
It feels like a bit, but I think he's also serious.
I think he's just baiting you. It's called football because they play with their feet.
Their feet, I know.
Yeah. Come on, Justin, you're better than that.
He's researching it. Look at his eyes. He's typing things in.
No, but like the word for feet, unless
why is it F-U-T?
I mean,
that's not Spanish.
Was it invented in England? The word football, does it come from England?
I believe so, yeah.
The sport, yes.
This is rough.
2,000 years ago by Aztecs using a rubber ball.
No, that's not.
You will never know.
It's not a dumb question.
I think, well, maybe a dumb answer, Dom, that has no relation, but like why the sport is so popular because it's so easy to play, as in you need a round object and a patch of grass, right? And like it's different than basketball where you need to find a hoop, or football, a little bit different shaped ball. Like soccer is a easy to play sport across the entire world, which I do think like is so much part of the popularity of it.
So
Can we tune out now?
yeah, but there was something with rugby. I forgot exactly. Oh no, maybe that was American football. How it split from.
I've been
rugby.
watching a little bit of rugby. It's very interesting.
Well, that'll
I
be your
think-
next episode.
I
That'd
don't
be
know
fun.
what our next episode's going to be about. Maybe we'll do it on something contemporary. We'll throw some
Joe
things out
Biden's
there.
State of the Union.
Oof.
Or the political state of Botswana.
Yep.